Hi, I'm Tammy Beilstein. Welcome to Tammy's Window on Calaveras. I am so happy to have here with me tonight Scott Nanik. He is the County Superintendent of Schools. He's got his office over there in Angels Camp in the County Office of Education. I go in there quite often, it seems. But Scott has one of the most stressful jobs on the entire planet, and he's here to talk to us today about it. I'm
Thanks,
so glad
Tammy.
you're here.
Thank you.
The school's about to start. For future reference, if you guys are watching this is taking place August 2020, COVID-19 time, and kids it's time to go back to school.
Yeah, and they would love to be there.
They would love to be there. Tell us what's up. What are your plans for this school year? Are kids starting school in class at all?
No, unfortunately. Okay. We would love to have students in classrooms. That's where they belong. That's where the teacher's most effective. That's where they learn the best. Unfortunately, we're in different times, and times that, quite honestly, none of us were quite ready for. So it's been a challenge. Students in our county, all of our main school districts are going to start virtually. Some starting as early as Monday. Then a few others come on the next Monday, and then Vallecito will start in September 8th. Wow. Mostly their delays due to they're under construction right now. They're doing a big remodel project.
When you say all classes, do you mean even the kindergarten and first graders
and
are going to be
TK.
virtual? Oh my gosh!
Yes, everybody's virtual.
How does that work? Do the kindergartners have maybe like an hour?
So the kindergarten teachers are a really creative bunch. So the challenge is taking it into a virtual environment and making it fun for the students. So they'll have a few minutes. There are minimum minutes that have to be met for instruction under the state of California, and they get longer. So when you get up to high school, it's 240 minutes a day.
How many hours is that?
That's almost 4.
4 hours.
So, but that's a blend of projects they can do on their own and time that they'll be virtually with their teacher. This year, California is requiring, as part of the distance learning model, is that classrooms have to be in person, or live together. So it's not just one-on-one with the teacher. You're going to have a class time where all the class is together with the teacher on a live stream. Okay. And working together. So that's to ensure a couple of things. So we have eyes on kids, and we know who's missing and who we need to really reach out to and kind of keep an eye on. But also provides that social time that's really important for kids. Yeah. And it just warms the heart of any teacher to be able to, they want to hug them all.
For sure.
And you can't do it, so virtually it's the best thing we can put together.
Does every student get their own laptop? What about the kids?
Their own device.
Okay.
If they need it. Many of our families are fortunate enough to have their own devices, so they can use those. But with the ones that don't, depending on grade level, may get an iPad or a Chromebook or even a full laptop. So it kind of progresses up with the grades. Okay. And then if they need it, they're also getting a hotspot. So if they don't have internet in the home, then they can get a hotspot and provide that connection.
I was going to ask you about that because I live in Valley Springs, and I mean sometimes ours is sketchy over there.
Right.
Is there any plan to put any of the classroom lessons on like this public television station so kids can access these?
It's challenging because we're using Zoom, and if you've seen Zoom, GoToMeeting, and we're using Google Meets, but all those platforms, when you record something, record the name and the photo of the student on them as well. So there's privacy issues there that have to be worked on. But I know some teachers that did last year, and I'm sure they will do again this year, filmed specific lessons directly with them. They weren't interactive. Okay. And showed them here on public access TV. Yeah. So my guess is some teachers will continue to do that, and we really want to thank the station for making that available. It's a big plus, because the challenge to families today is, I've got my kids at home. I've got to try to teach them, but I have to go to a job. Right. How do I do this? Right. So timings don't always work out well, and so schools are really trying to figure out what the state requires to count attendance and what is needed for the families to make things work. So look for your schools to be really flexible, and if parents are struggling, they need to reach out, let their teachers know, and if they aren't getting the answers they need, let their principals know, so that we can figure out solutions that work. Yeah. We're all in this together, and it's going to be a challenge.
Just trying to imagine. So my daughter was a really easygoing, good student. My son, he was a handful, if you remember. Love him to pieces. Yep. Now he's like the Mr. Strict father figure to everybody. But when he was young, he was not like that. And I can just imagine trying to make him sit down for 4 hours at a computer. If it was TikTok videos or something, 4 hours flies by. But not when you're doing math and history.
And at the high school levels, it's going to be challenging.
Yeah.
They're going to be logging off one class and have a few minutes, like a passing period, log on to the next class.
Wow.
So, one of our concerns for everybody is screen time and how much screen time is involved. Unfortunately, there aren't great solutions for that right now.
Right. Now, you were saying for the parents to contact the teacher or the principal if they have a problem. What if, so obviously, like we already saw an example of, I suck at math, suck. And if my kids are asking me to help them with a math problem, I'd be like, So how, as a parent, am I supposed to help my kids with their schoolwork and do this sort of thing when it's already over my head? Would I be able to call the teacher 6 o'clock at night, like that sort of thing, or?
Maybe not 6 o'clock at night, because that's dinner hour for a lot of families. But then again, they may want a break because they've been together all day long. But most teachers are going to run office hours. So they will have a block of time during the day to do office hours. Unfortunately, that'll probably be within the school day because that's when the teacher's contract is. But most teachers are very flexible. So if you email a teacher, they'll get back to you within the next day. Give them a phone call, leave them a voicemail. Most of the teachers will be teaching from their classrooms.
Oh, okay.
So that will help with that communication piece.
What's the reason for that?
It provides a much more professional approach to teaching.
Okay.
When students see their teacher in their classroom versus at their dining table delivering lessons, it just sends a different message. And it says that the teachers are those professionals that they are. And they're doing this the best way possible for students. All their resources are right there. So if they're teaching little ones and have to reference a book or a document, it's right here. There. It's not, oh shoot, I left it in a classroom and I forgot it.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. So I have so many questions for you. They're like all flooding in at once. Let me organize my thoughts for a sec. So what about the kids who, I worry about kids who are already spending too much time on their phone or on the computer and not out socializing with people. Will there be any times when the kids can get together in person to meet, even if they're
not
distanced?
Currently?
No. Okay.
There is some flexibility for athletic conditioning. So if kids are on school teams, they can do conditioning. They can't do practice. They can't use a ball. They can't any equipment. They can't use, but they can condition together so they can do jumping jacks and be 6 foot apart and wear their masks and try to interact that way. We know for kids that's hard. Because that's not how they interact.
Right.
It's not how we interact.
No.
So it's just going to be a challenge. I encourage parents to really be monitors of their students. What's their mental health like?
Right.
Reach out to the school if things are struggling. The schools will connect counselors with the students by Zoom, by telephone, maybe one-on-one, face-to-face if we can figure it out. But those challenges, we're concerned definitely about kids and their well-being. I encourage parents to use virtual platforms that they can at home differently than the classroom. Arrange just a social gathering of their closest friends via Zoom. It's free for 30 minutes, so it's not a huge length of time.
Right.
Maybe they can play a coordinated game together or do something or just have a chat. Or the good old telephone works really well. I know our kids are adverse to that, but pick up the phone and have them talking to their friends just on the telephone. Will really help. And then it's important for parents to spend time with their kids.
Right.
So
not just teaching them.
Not just teaching them.
Because that's sort of like this.
Right. Get them outside. Pick up a sport you can do as a family, whether it's walking or tennis, playing golf together, learn something new together. Do those type of things as a family so that they see people.
Right. Is there any way everybody who knows me knows how big I am on children being safe. Mm-hmm. Is there any time or any way that your teachers are going to be able to connect privately with the student? What if the student's having an issue at home? I know that it would be usually with their parent if they're having an issue, if they're being neglected or abused. How can they let their teacher know that something's going on and they need to talk privately?
The best way is for them, all the students have school email accounts, is to email directly to their teacher. Unfortunately, setting up that environment where we know that nobody's watching on the student side is really tough. We can ensure privacy on the school side, but when it comes to, we really don't know. So we're going to have to be real creative with what that looks like.
Yeah, I hope something can be found. And then again, with the counseling part, again, everybody who knows me knows that I do Grief Busters with the Hospice of Amador and Calaveras.
Thank you.
But I miss it though. We have not seen many kids. Once in a while, over these last few months, we'll meet with someone who really needs us over in a park or somewhere public. But it's not the same. Right. We've tried over the phone. We've tried the Zoom sort of connection. It is so difficult, especially if the child needs to say something that is about someone that lives in their home. They can't say it, with the person in the next room. So it's driving me crazy. I hope that the kids do find a way to reach out. They might have the best ideas. Maybe we can ask some of them to give us ideas on how can we help you if this is a need.
There's some awfully creative kids out there.
Yeah.
The good news around the mental health side for our students is the county just received a $2.5 million grant to put counselors in all the elementary schools in our county.
Really?
So, we just got notified of that last week.
That's amazing.
It's a joint grant with Calaveras County Behavioral Health, and so we're all working together, and we'll be phasing that up here over this year.
Oh, that makes me tear up. I'm so happy.
We got the highest score for rural counties in the area.
Highest how? How was the grading done?
The grading was a rubric score, so this is a big formal grant. We actually teamed up together to hire a grant writer to help us do this because it was so good for our kids. And we were thrilled when we got the notice.
Oh, that's amazing. So great job. Yeah. Thank you, and everybody who worked on that grant. Thank you all so much. That's huge. Oh, so I'll try to change that subject, but that's amazing. I'm so happy to hear that. And if there's anything that our Grief Busters can do to help you guys, please let us know, because our volunteers are just dying to meet with their kids again. So
right.
Let us know how we can do that. So you mentioned something about the sports. Right. What happens to kids who have been working their buns off for 2, 3, 4 years in high school for a scholarship? If they can't play sports, can they still get a scholarship?
Well, it depends on the school they're going to, because those scholarships are offered through the college or university they're going to. Those offers were made.
They were.
I hadn't heard of any schools pulling back, but now, since those things have happened and colleges are starting to start, we're seeing now that college sports are getting delayed as well. So how that's all going to play out, I feel for those athletes. They work really hard to get where they're going and their dreams, and it's just much more of a challenge. The same thing happened on the academic side, is grades were kind of iffy and different. It's the last part of school, and if your grades to get into the next step were reliant on that, thank goodness those higher education institutions said, no, we understand what's going on, and we're going to work based on what we already know.
Okay. Do you get any heads up on when things might go back to normal?
I'm fearful that it's going to be a while. We're going to be moving into flu season. It's going to be really hard to tell COVID from flu.
Right.
And so our challenges are really going to be, unless we as a society start really wearing these. I know it's tough, but right now that's our only hope, because without a vaccination, it's tough. We're trying to keep everybody safe in schools, and while students might not look like they present a problem, we have lots of students that have asthma or allergies and issues that put them in just as much risk. And then you turn to the adult side, and they're definitely in those high-risk categories. And we have lots of teachers, and almost all of our substitutes are in the far end of those age categories. So we're trying to balance keeping everybody safe, and there's just no great solutions right now.
No. I did see something online a while back, but where they were putting 4 desks together with plastic clear partitions between them.
But it still doesn't protect the adult.
Oh.
The kid's protected, but what about the teachers and the aides and those people that have to work with the kids? So it's a huge challenge. No matter how much cleaning we do, how much sterilization we do, it's just, there's no way to eliminate it. We have to mitigate it.
Do you have any feeling toward the whole herd immunity sort of thing? When I was a kid, if someone had chicken pox on the block, we all went and played over there, and we all got chicken pox, got it out of the way. Right. We just don't know enough about COVID.
We don't know because we don't really have an accurate blood test to know who's had it and who hasn't. Yeah. And so to know enough about COVID, I think that herd approach will eventually get us there. But the consequences of that approach, like throwing everybody in the room together, means some people aren't going to make it, and that's a consequence I don't think any of us are willing to make.
Oh gosh, this whole thing is just it's horrible. It's ugly in every way. Yeah. There's nothing good that I can see coming out of it, except that we're learning new ways to teach and communicate with each other. But the whole social part of it, I mean, I think of all the depression, kids and adults who have depression and are already so isolated, and this must be a nightmare for a lot of people. But
also I think people need to look for the good things. Yeah. Look how much cleaner our air is, especially in our big cities. Look at how things are impacting the environment. Look at all those changes that are really for the good, and it shows us we could do things probably a little bit better and a little bit more efficiently. We don't have to be dashing all over the planet to go to meetings all the time. We really can do these virtually, and this has proven that. Yeah. While school is not maybe the best thing, but I can tell you, I sit in enough meetings that I don't need to be traveling to.
Right, yeah, that's true. Yeah. Yeah. I'm sorry, just go to the middle image. There's these socks I saw that said another meeting that could have been a phone call.
Yes.
I'll have to get them for you.
I love it. I love it.
So is there anything the parents need to do on their end to prepare their kids for the school year, things they have to get, things they should talk to them about first, or what do you want them to do on their end?
First of all, I want them to be positive. Kids follow parents' attitudes. Yeah. And so parents need to stay positive. Even if they're frustrated to no end, they need to be positive for their kids' sake, because the kids can't learn if they know their parents aren't behind this. Right. And so put on that good front. We've all had to do it as parents. Yeah. And just make it work and be supportive. A good chair or a good cushion, make it a comfortable environment. Yeah. Give them an environment they can own. They own their desks at school, especially in the younger grades. You know, their cubbies and everything are filled with their things. Try to create something similar to that at home for them, and give them just time to be outside, even if it's alone, or just with the family, playing, running, getting some sunshine. Do those things that kids need to do. Do
you recommend the kids do their lessons like in their bedroom with the door closed so they have some quiet and privacy, or out in the kitchen?
Out in the kitchen where you can see them. Okay. Kids are used to noisy environments. Yes. They really don't need that much privacy. Okay. If they're concentrating or writing a paper, there's no reason they can't be in a quiet corner, or even the bedroom with the door open, working on that project. But parents need to check in that that's what's happening. Kids are really good at doing other things and making it look like they're doing work. Yes. So I caution all parents, it's now's the time. We've heard it for years. Be involved with your kids and know what they're doing. Today is the time to do that. The student, you think your kids need privacy, you have to figure out what that boundary is for your own kids, but don't be afraid to cross it either. Yeah. As a parent. Right. That
line between being a friend, being a parent, being the teacher is going to be a little blurred, a little confusing, I think, for a while.
And the cook and the dishwasher.
Yeah, for sure. So, Mountain Oaks Homeschool, is that under your
It is. Umbrella? It's a county chartered program. They have their own board.
Is that going to be different than what the kids are doing in these other schools, or is it basically the same thing now?
They're basically doing the same thing they've always done. So they've been a homeschool model program. which means the parents are really the teachers. So the school provides curriculum, and they provide a mentor teacher to guide the parents on how to do instruction. So they're really teaching the parents how to teach.
Right.
That's going to continue because most of that work happens off campus, and that will be their mainstay approach. So they really won't see a change in their model and how it works. The advantage they have is they've been doing this for a long time. 20 plus years now. So they know how to make it work.
It's like a great school over there.
Where a lot of our other teachers are going, uh-oh, wasn't ready for this one. But I am so proud of our teachers. They're jumping on trainings and learning and asking.
Golly.
And trying their darn best.
Yeah. And if I imagine so many teachers go into that line of work because they love kids and they want to be there in their lives and so involved, and this like puts a screen between you. It's tough. That's so tough. So back to a more probably basic question I should have asked in the beginning, but when the kids do their schoolwork, how are you getting it? Are you guys doing like a once a week drive-by where they turn their work in, or?
Most of it's gone digital. So their work's on Google Classroom. A lot of schools are using Google Classroom as their means, so they can actually, the teacher can issue work and it goes to their private Google account, school account, and then they submit it back to the teacher through Google. So it tracks it and moves it back and forth for them. There are some things that still need to be done on paper and pencil. So we're encouraging students to use the phone camera, take a photo of it and email it in or text it in and do it that way. Or they can drop it off at the school. The school offices are still running. So there's no reason they can't swing by and drop things off.
So weird. It's so Jetsons.
Yeah.
Isn't it? What about school lunches and that sort of thing?
Going full steam.
Really?
Full steam plus. So we're doing grab and goes. So you can't have kids in the cafeteria and stuff, but similar, almost identical to what we were doing at the end of school. The schools are setting up distribution points to get food out. Some schools are packaging it for a week. Here's all your food for the week, your breakfasts and lunches. Some are doing daily pickups. Some are doing bus runs to bus stops.
Oh, wow.
So, because parents can't get down the hill, don't have the transportation, we're trying to accommodate everybody as best possible.
Gosh, Scott, did you ever think that you'd be doing this? No.
This one was not on the radar. I was ready for PSPS power outages, and that was going to be rough, and fires. We're trying to figure out how to make sure everybody's safe there, but pandemic,
no,
not in the picture.
They did not teach you this in superintendent school.
No, they did not.
If you knew this was coming, would you still want this position?
Yes, I love what I do, and I love working with kids and with teachers, and to help. I feel like I can make a real impact with them, and I do want to mention PSPSs because we're coming into that season again, and power outages are coming, which is just more stress on the family. So I encourage everybody, be ready, listen to those warnings, make sure your PG&E information is up to date. Have a generator if you can afford it, even a small one. Have those flashlights, batteries, lanterns. Try to stay away from the candles, because they lead to fires. And just be ready and know they're coming. Schools will work with parents and families if they can't get on electronically. We're in an outage. So don't panic. That's the last thing I want you to worry about.
In the parking lot.
I don't want parents panicking, the power's out and I can't do my schoolwork. We'll figure that piece out. Take care of yourself and your family.
Oh my gosh. So if anyone has any questions about what's going on, do you know your web address by heart?
Yeah, I do. It's
your
complicated.
Phone number? Oh, is it?
Yep, but
what did they put on the screen?
So the county office webpage is ccoe.k12.ca.us. And my phone number, my direct line is 209-736-6008. I just ask that you reach out to your local schools first. Feel free to call me if you're running into roadblocks or you have ideas or you're not getting the responses you want. That's what I'm here to help with. And I've had lots of parents call me already, and we kind of walk through what's going on. There are a lot of things we just don't have control over, and we're in the same pain that parents are feeling. So we're all in this together. So, empathy, caring, virtual hugs, and just a smile, even through a mask, is a blessing for everybody.
That's beautiful. I'm so glad that you are doing what you're doing. I really cannot imagine anybody who'd be better at this. You're so good at what you do. I really appreciate all of it. So we have like 5 minutes left. What I wanted to bring up, what do you think about, I know we've kind of mentioned it before, doing maybe a couple shows here, one, maybe two, to teach parents how to be good teachers. Maybe some ideas like how to turn a trip to the grocery store into a math lesson, or things like that. And also like self-care for parents. If maybe a counselor or someone could talk about how to transition from teaching parent to parent.
Right, and create those boundaries.
Yeah, it seems so difficult. My kids are both grown up, but I can, like I said, I can just imagine. I would be like, I would be so stressed out.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, those are great ideas, and I can think of people off the top of my head that would be really good at doing that. So
I would love to do that.
There are so many good things going on. I've got a teacher right now that works for us. It's in her master's program, and she's trying to build STEM lessons around local venues, like at the parks and things like that. So science lessons can be done, and they just scan a QR code and here's the lesson.
Oh, cool.
So those type of things are happening.
Yeah.
And I think parents can use those just as well as any teacher.
I think that would be so great. Because what's weird, I mean, you're in that business, and it probably feels like, oh, you just go here, everybody knows about this, everybody knows about that. But when you don't do this kind of work at all, you don't even know what you don't know.
Right.
It's like,
there are resources for parents on our website.
Okay.
So when they go to our website, look for those resources. The parent resource page has all the learning standards by grade level.
Okay.
So they can see what's expected of their child this year and what's going to be expected next year.
Great.
So they can kind of plan ahead and see if there's any gaps happening that they're concerned about.
Yeah.
We're trying to constantly add resources there.
Perfect. Do you guys have a Facebook page also?
We do, at Calaveras COE.
Okay.
The @ with Calaveras COE, Facebook and Twitter.
Awesome. Yeah, I feel like I'm on Facebook all the time. Probably shouldn't be, but usually that's my first place to go and check for something.
It works well in Calaveras County. Communication is tough in our county.
Yeah.
And social media is one of the ways we do better at it.
Yeah, that's so amazing. We have 1 minute left. Anything we forgot?
Not that I can think of, other than hang in there, parents, hang in there, students. Thank you, teachers and school administrators and staff. We couldn't do this without everybody.
Oh, definitely. So. Yeah. Thank you for what you're doing. And yes, thank you to all the teachers and the parents and the staff and everyone else who is affected by this. I don't envy any of you. If there's a way I can help, please let me know.
Don't worry, we will.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for being here.
Thanks, Tammy. Appreciate it.
That was quick, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You guys, thank you for watching. I'll see you next time on Tammy's Window on Calaveras.